So with the massive success of Subnautica 1 and the mixed reception of the spin-off Subnautica Below Zero, Unknown Worlds sought to make a proper sequel to the first game, recapturing the magic of the first game while also doing something new. And even though the development of Subnautica 2 has been a little rocky, I'm here to tell you that they have succeeded completely, at least so far, and I'm going to tell you why. Now we get a lot of stuff to cover and I have a lot to say, so we're going to split this off into different parts, and I will be talking about spoilers later. But for about half of this review, I won't be covering spoilers, and I will let you know when I am going to get into spoiler territory. But enough talk, let's get right into the most important part of the game, the world. Now with this game being more modern, Unknown Worlds decided to ditch the Unity engine and swap to Unreal Engine 5. And I have to say, Subnautica has never looked this good. It is insane. The graphical upgrade is noticeable almost immediately, especially with the updated lighting. Unknown Worlds went for a mixed approach when it came to their world design in Subnautica 2, with the biome diversity and design of Subnautica Below Zero, but with the open spaces of Subnautica 1. This is the non-spoiler part of the map I'm going to show you. So they basically call this a region, and within this region there are a bunch of biomes all packed in with each other. Now this region is currently bigger than what I'm showing you. This is basically just the non-spoilery version without the other half currently in the game. So the map is actually a lot bigger than this, but we only have one region. And I actually really like this approach because it just means there's going to be a lot more biodiversity within Subnautica 2, instead of those like big portions of the map that are all just one biome in Subnautica 1. And all the biomes in Subnautica 2 all have really different fauna and color schemes and creatures. Like you can go to the plateaus and this biome will have that really dark blue color scheme with the BFJs, and you got a few marrow breaches and a lot of nibblers here. And you can go and explore the caves in this biome with these like really colorful flowers, and oftentimes you'll find the Jeticaris just kind of chilling in the caves and stuff. But then you can go to the Anemone Hills directly next to that biome and find completely different fauna and life there, and even a resource that you can only get from that biome. The world just feels alive in this game, and it just evokes that sense of wonder out of you where you'll just want to explore absolutely everything that you can just to see what's there. And let's actually talk about the creatures that are in the world. And they are a major step up from the prior two games, at least so far. They are a lot more advanced. The devs basically gave every creature a behavior tree, which will let it react to things and act differently depending on what's going on around it. So a lot of the time you'll see a lot of different kinds of fish moving in packs, like the half moons will do that. The nibblers will often hunt together in packs as well. Or you'll see hammerheads slamming themselves against a coral shell or getting into fights with each other. The creatures are very reactive, and because of all the different ways they behave from one another and just how proactive they are completely on their own, it just creates more believable and lived-in environments, more than any of the previous Subnautica games. And it actually means the fish AI is actually intelligent enough to actually behave how they are described in the PDA entries, which is new for this franchise. Like for example, the PDA in Subnautica 1 tells you that the Reaper Leviathans hunt via echolocation, and that's why they roar. So if you hear a Reaper's roar, it can basically see you. But in-game, the Reapers don't actually act like that. In reality, they are incredibly stupid. But in Subnautica 2, oftentimes you will read a PDA entry, it will tell you how a creature behaves and what it likes to do, how it hunts, and the creatures actually act like that and do those things in the world. The creatures in this game are amazing, and there are a lot more than you actually think. Like those obnoxious poison plants, they're actually alive. They aren't actually plants. I really love the creatures in this game, and it seems like most people do as well, as the water slug is one of the most iconic fishes in Subnautica history at this point. Also, side note, the soundtrack in this game is banger. Like this song is so incredibly good. There are some other tracks I'm gonna talk about later in the spoiler part of the review, but let's get into the other important part of Subnautica, the progression. Now they really shook a lot of things up in this game. So first off, you need to grab different materials. And this time they got rid of the outcrops and just have different spawns for each material for you to grab. You still need to scan different fragments and find data boxes like the first game, but the scanner has been improved a lot, where it'll just tell you on the scanner how many fragments left you need and if you have all the fragments already. It is really helpful. There's also a bunch of quality of life stuff with crafting. Like now the base fabricator will just grab stuff from your wall lockers and other storage in your base, instead of just using your inventory. You can also click a bunch of times to craft as much as you need instead of having to individually select the recipe after each crafting animation is done. You also have other new ways to get different materials, like the processor, which will make all different new types of ingots and other crafting materials, and you'll need it for crafting throughout your entire playthrough. They also have some new tools for you to use, like the subsonic resonator, which is my favorite tool in all of Subnautica. It's so much fun to use. There are basically big piles of certain materials that you can only harvest from by charging up the resonator and blasting them. It's honestly so satisfying every single time you do it. And you can also use it for deterring creatures or taking out some of the bloom strains for the adaptations. Oh, and speaking of that, that's another form of progression in this game. There are these angel cones you can find that will house adaptations that are basically character upgrades. There's the one at the start of the game for breathing, and there are 3 others for you to find naturally once you get into the world. And there is also another form of progression called biomods. You only get 4 at the start, but you can unlock more later in the game. And they're basically all just different character abilities. Like there's one that can give you a dash, for example, that is super helpful in the early game. And the base building in this game is absolutely insane. It is so much better than any of the other games before it. Each base is fully modular now, and they took away the stupid base integrity system, which means now you don't have to choose which part of your base has to look ugly for the dumb hull reinforcement. You can just build anything and everything you want. There obviously needs to be more options, like there aren't any multi-purpose rooms or anything like that, or round roofs or even glass roofs, and sometimes building can be finicky, like sometimes the game just won't let you build something just because. So I think they need to work out some of the kinks with it and give us some more options, including the ability to color our bases, but I love the base building in this game so much. Like now you can just make a huge ass moon pool if you want. It wouldn't be super useful right now, but it is pretty cool anyway. And let's talk about what you can dock in there, which is the new vehicle, the Tadpole. And man, I love this thing so much. It honestly feels even better than the Sea Moth, and it's awesome. It's even got the classic "Welcome aboard, Captain." And of course you can craft different upgrades on the Tadpole, but there is a semi-new thing called chassis that you can put on the Tadpole. There are only 2 in the game, and one of them is so buns, so I'm just gonna cover it anyway. But you have this one called the Scout Ray chassis, which makes the Tadpole look awesome, and it significantly increases the speed and maneuverability of the Tadpole. It's actually faster than the Sea Moth, and it feels so good to drive and control. But now we got the bad one, which is the Hull chassis. This one basically just has a bunch of storage on it, but it makes your Tadpole incredibly slow and sluggish. And there's almost zero reason to use it, because anywhere you go, there will already be a bunch of resources there. And you get it so late in the game, you probably already have most of what you need. But anyway, there is a lot of late game stuff and progression that I want to talk about later. But for now, I'm just going to say there is more that I haven't covered yet. Now, with the progression covered, I'm going to briefly talk about the story. Not too much in this video, but I will generally cover the intro and the stuff in regards to the pioneers. So basically, you wake up as the QI, the qualified investigator designated to you by this guy, Noah. And I'm just gonna really quickly say that he is my favorite character in all of Subnautica, and I want him to be as active in the story as he could possibly be. I love his voice actor so much. But anyway, Noah is basically an AI. Just like the PDA, he's programmed to manage the Pioneers, a group you are also a part of, in accomplishing their goal of creating a colony on the planet. But suddenly, they went missing. So Noah woke your lazy ass up to help him figure out what went wrong. And this is where we learn awesome stuff, like the fact that you aren't actually on Zazura. You are on a completely different planet called Proteus. How you got there is something I'm not going to spoil, but it's a mystery you're going to have to figure out yourself. And there's a new thing embedded in the lore called a biobed. It's basically a respawn system where the biobed will save a ghost version of you, and if you die, it'll respawn you in that save state. And it's something that Noah can control. So as you learn about what happened to the Pioneers, you learn about a lot of conflict that happened within that group pertaining to Noah, because Noah basically controls when they and you get revived. And Noah can just reset you to a previous version of yourself completely. So you just lose like most of your memories and whatever growth you had as a person before you died. So there are a lot of pioneers who look at Noah as this tyrant controlling their lives to perpetually keep them working to pay off their debts to Altera. And it got so bad that it led to civil war. One thing that's really interesting about the whole Noah debacle is that while they aren't necessarily wrong with Noah's position of power, they are wrong about how he uses it. In every instance that Noah reset somebody, it's just because they were so sick and mentally deficient, he had no other choice but to reset them to an earlier version. And it's because they were infected with Macefield. And Macefield is basically just this virus that is specific to this planet that makes you like see and hear weird shit, and it can mess with you internally as well. And as the virus grows, you slowly lose yourself and become obsessed with the world tree. So in all those cases, it makes sense to reset them before they turn into actual vegetables, if they weren't already. But I think it does hint at what Noah's really trying to do, and what he might be willing to do if your goals do not align with his. So later down the line, he might actually turn into the antagonist, but we are gonna have to wait and see for that. And there are other interesting questions that are here in regards to the biobeds. Like, what are the ghosts exactly? Are they clones of you? Are they really just you? We don't know what material they use. The ghosts do have a consciousness of their own, separate from the person that they are created from. So are they just entirely different versions of the same person? And the person who died is actually just dead, never to come back? There's a bunch of room for questions and speculation in this story, and it's one of the best parts about it. I only wanted to briefly cover parts of the story in the non-spoiler review just to explain why it's so good in this game, because God, do I love it. Now, before I want to cover some of my other critiques, I need to talk about the whole killing controversy and where I stand in regards to that. And I gotta be honest, guys, this whole controversy is stupid. You do not need killing to be in Subnautica 2 at all. I've heard so many bad arguments in regards to this issue, it's awful. So first off, no, the devs didn't take killing away because of pacifism. They have made several games where you use guns and kill things. The reason that you cannot kill fish in Subnautica 2 is because it makes the game too easy. Think about your first encounter with a Reaper. Do you want to know what made that so terrifying? It wasn't just because you weren't expecting it. It's because of just how big and powerful the Reaper was in comparison to you. You didn't know what to do, and that's what made it terrifying, the power scaling. But the moment you get a stasis rifle, the moment you got a prawn suit in Subnautica, the Reapers didn't feel all that scary because you could literally just kill them. It ruins the encounter because you are so much stronger than a Reaper is. Hell, you can kill a Reaper with nothing but like 2 or 3 gasopods and a stasis rifle. It's actually a joke. I'll use another example for you. The sea dragon, right? We all love him. Well, killing can ruin him as well. The dragons are placed right where you have to go to beat the game. They are meant to be worked around. You have to learn their behavior and learn how to outrun them. But just like the Reapers, you can just kill them and it ruins the entire encounter. And the reason the devs put them here in the first place, killing is too easy and it ruins the carefully crafted Leviathan encounters that the devs put in these games. I have heard a lot of people counter this argument by saying that Subnautica is a survival sandbox, so the sandbox is somehow lesser. And my counter to that is that you are correct. Subnautica is a survival sandbox, but it's also a survival terror. And the entire terror part of the game gets completely destroyed when you can just kill everything. I saw this absolutely terrible argument from Firespark where he basically says 2 things that are just wrong. One, that they should let you kill the creatures and have a respawn mechanic, which is never happening and it's a terrible idea. Imagine spending like 50 minutes knifing a Leviathan to death just for it to respawn. If you are killing a creature, you are doing it to get rid of it permanently, especially because you have to go out of your way to do it. So at that point, why would you even add killing as a feature in the game if you're going to make it completely worthless by adding a respawn mechanic? Like, that's just a garbage idea, and that's why that wasn't included in Subnautica 1 or Below Zero. Secondly, he says that the entire reason you are on the planet is to dominate it for humanity, and that's also completely wrong. That's what Altera wants you to do. You know, the evil corporation that enslaved you and all the pioneers. The real reason we and the pioneers are on the planet is because we are debt slaves to Altera. That's the main reason they are here, is just to do what Altera wants and work off their debts. That's it. I haven't even talked about one of the main themes of the story, which is that dominating the planet like that is a bad thing. There's an entire faction in the game that I'm not going to spoil yet that literally doomed themselves and the planet's ecosystem them? Because they dominated the planet like that. Industrialization literally doomed the entire planet, and now we have to fix it. You can't claim that the devs don't know their own story if you don't even know the story yourself. And I'd argue Subnautica 2 already has a massive sandbox. You have a bunch of biomods you can get, all centered around distracting creatures and hiding from creatures. You have the multi-tool, which you can literally use to parry marrow breachers and nibblers. They buff the flares as well, so you can use those. You can even use the subsonic resonator to get creatures off of you, and even use it to kill those bloom parasites if you didn't know. To act like there's nothing you can do if a creature comes and attacks you is to be completely disingenuous. There is stuff you can do. There are plenty of options. You just have to work for them. Not being able to just kill any threat to you makes these options valuable, and it encourages you to think and actually use your brain, get creative, and learn the creatures in the world and their behaviors. It makes the game better. It does not take anything away from it. And this many people being upset about the whole killing debacle just proves the devs' point, because people just relied too much on the damn knife to solve their problems in the first game. Now, the devs might let you kill some of the smaller fish like the half moon, but I doubt they're going to let you kill something like a marrow breach or hammerhead or a leviathan that I haven't talked about. I think what we should be asking for is just more options instead of killing. Like, personally, I think we need a perimeter defense system for the tadpole, because we only have the armor upgrade as of right now for creature defense. I also think they should add torpedoes back, one that will shock and stun any creature, including leviathans. I'd also like one that shoots a flare out, because there is a leviathan in the game, but you can't use flares against it to distract it, because you can only throw one out so far. So having a torpedo that shoots a flare out super far away from you that can distract a leviathan would be super cool. Like, all of that stuff is what I think we should be asking for. The devs also said they are planning on having stuff that would protect your base from creatures. So all of the bases are going to be covered. We just have to wait for them to be implemented. Now, while I hold this opinion and I hold it strongly, I think it's totally okay if you want to install a mod that lets you kill everything. I really don't care. I'm not going to take control of your PC and make you uninstall the mod. I think the people that get mad at other people for just installing a mod like that are even more in the wrong for that. Who cares, dude? I just don't want that in the base game. And I think I've clearly laid out why. Now, with that covered, I don't even have a lot of critiques. I just want more in the game. More base building stuff, the ability to color my base and my tadpole, more vehicles, more biomes, more creatures, more regions, more progression. I just need more. And I think that's honestly really telling. That as of right now, I really can't think of a lot of flaws while writing this script. Something that upsets me or turns me off. There's nothing really that can come into my mind. Like, I just love this game. And I think it's the most promising in the entire franchise. Like, this game can potentially surpass the original game, which is crazy to me because the original Subnautica is already in my top 20 favorite games of all time. So before I continue into the spoiler segment of this review, I'm going to tell you that if you love Subnautica 1, you need to play this game at some point at least. I know some people are refusing to play it just because they want to beat and experience the full product, which I understand. And if you're new to this franchise and are wondering if Subnautica 2 is worth buying, I'm just going to say no. And it's mainly because it's an incomplete game. Like, you're just not getting the full experience of a Subnautica game. And you don't necessarily need to play Subnautica 1 or Below Zero to understand and enjoy Subnautica 2. I just think if you want to have a fully complete and incredible Subnautica experience as a first timer, you should probably just get and play the first game because it's already complete and it's literally right there. And it's relatively cheap. But with all of that covered, I'm going to get into spoilers now. So now is your time to leave if you care about that. You better leave in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now let's talk about the collector. This bad boy is in my top 3 favorite leviathans of all time. He is awesome. That whole behavior tree thing I was talking about applies to this guy, and it makes him so much fun. He'll remember where he saw you and stalk that location waiting for you. He learns you and your patterns. He also gets alerted by sound and light on top of just his regular vision. So if you flash your lights in his direction, he'll get curious and come your way. He is so intelligent and it's so cool. He's not just mindlessly aggressive, he is highly intelligent, and hiding from him is one of the most exhilarating experiences I have ever had in any Subnautica game. And apparently this isn't even his true biome. I guess he's meant to be somewhere else in the real game, which is really intriguing to me. He also has 2 different attacks. He has that standard grab attack that does like no damage, but he also has a stab attack with one of his back tentacles that absolutely tanks your tadpole's health. I think the collector is genuinely one of Unknown World's finest work, and it makes me really excited for the future Leviathans that they add. One critique I have that I couldn't mention in the non-spoiler part of the review is that the PDA entry for the collector does not describe his behaviors at all. Like him being attracted to light and sound and like learning your routine and stalking you. It's not really explained in the PDA. It says that he is sensitive to light and he is highly intelligent, but that's it. So I hope the PDA just delves a little bit deeper into how he works, because that's the entire reason you'd want to scan him. Also, the biomod you get for scanning him is complete fucking trash. That thing needs a buff. The range is so incredibly small that most of the time when you use it, you're already staring right at the material you need. Like, just use your eyeballs at that point. Why the hell would you use that biomod? We also all know about the Shiver Leviathan. I mean, come on. One of the coolest designs for Leviathan we've gotten. And he's only the Void Leviathan for right now. He's actually meant to be a regular Leviathan in a different area in the game that the devs haven't added yet, which is really cool. And it makes me happy because the Shiver is one I would love to see regularly in the game, with its own behavior tree and everything that we have to learn and adapt to. I just really hope they keep designing Leviathans like the Collector, Sea Dragon, and Shadow Leviathan, because those encounters force you to deal with the Leviathans, and it makes them so much more fun because you can't just run around them. They will find you and they will hunt you, and you have to learn their behaviors and how to deter them if you want to succeed. And I think that type of design when it comes to Leviathans is always the best. So I hope to see more of that. We probably also all know the Deepwing Brooders as well. Those are a cool Leviathan. I personally think that they fall short in comparison to something like a Reefback or a Glow Whale, just because those creatures are bigger and a lot more awe-inspiring to me personally, but they are still cool. All of the later game creatures are my favorite in the game, especially those fat fish that are related to the hammerheads. I love those guys. I love the Needlers, even though they do piss me off sometimes. I love those like weird split dolphins. They are super cool. My favorite part of the game is the later part of the game, 100%. Also because of the badass Axum structures and the new tech progression they add. You can get these like upgrades for your current tools that give it new abilities by applying alien technology to it, like the bioscanner letting you unlock new biomods. You got the upgraded subsonic resonator that will let you shoot these blasts from a long range. They're basically taking the tool upgrade concept that was semi-explored in Subnautica 1 and just going full on into it. I absolutely love it so much. It's easily one of the coolest things ever. You also got the new metal farms, which is a new way to automate resources. Like you can just get infinite titanium or whatever else from them. It's honestly awesome. And I hope they keep adding more stuff later down the line in the realm of automation, because it's really cool. Or maybe like an auto harvester for the metal farms so we don't have to manually grab those resources ourselves. They already said they don't want factories or anything, but just light automation. So don't expect anything super crazy in the future, but I definitely want to see more stuff like this later down the line. And by the way, the song that plays when you turn on the Axum power plant goes absolutely fucking crazy. Genuinely sent tingles down my spine. I don't have all that much to say about the late game, but what's crazy is that everything we did in this game, even completing it by turning on the observatory, all of that is still the early game. We only have like 20% of the content currently available, and it's already so fucking good. And so far, this is everything I have wanted in a sequel. With its incredible world, music, atmosphere, story, creatures, and progression, Subnautica 2 is really shaping up to be, at least so far, a true and proper sequel to Subnautica 1. I love Subnautica 2, and I cannot wait for future updates. But anyway, bye.